Today I'm going to show you the Lay-Z-Spa setup procedure. Ours is a St Moritz, which I'm showing you in the top corner now. But the setup procedure is the same whatever model you've got. I've already done an unboxing video and I'll link that in the description if you want to see it. But let's get right to setting it up. The box with the spa in it is quite heavy and it really is a two-man lift to get it into the location where you're going to set it up. And I tipped it upside down, which enables me to just lift the box off. I'm using my fingers to tear the polythene. I would suggest that you don't use a knife. You don't want to puncture the spa. Actually, in my opinion, I must say that wrapping this in polythene like this is a black mark against best way. They could easily have wrapped it in a stout paper wrapper, which would be fully recyclable. Just something to bear in mind when you're choosing your site for this. These Lay-Z-Spas done halfway some. This St Moritz model will be in the order of about 1,300 kilos by the time it's full. I'm putting it on this decking, but I built this decking myself, so you can take my word for it, it is strong. If you don't know the provenance of your decking, be as well to check it. If you can jump up and down on it and it bounces, then it's probably not strong enough. Unfold the machine, which is quite tough to do because of course it's taken a bit of a set, having been in its box and all packed up for probably a couple of months. But this is the business end that we're interested in. These pipes are the ones that will connect to the combined pump and heater unit, and it's that unit that blows it up. From the packaging, select the brown air adapter and the air pipe. The air adapter screws into the plug on the side of the machine. Tighten it down firmly and then remove the centre cap that's in that. Connect this end of the inflator pipe to the inflation nozzle, making sure not to cross thread it, and do it down hand tight. Then with the other end of the inflation pipe, insert it into the inflation port on the tub itself. Now remove the plastic protector from the plug and find somewhere to plug it in. Now if you're using an extension lead to bring power out of the house, do not leave the lead of the tub coiled up like this. Make sure to uncoil it. And also make sure to uncoil any extension lead you might be using. Make sure to press the reset button on the RCD unit. The little window between the two buttons will light up red. Press and hold the power button for 3 seconds and then press the massage button. Once you're satisfied that it's sufficiently inflated, press the power button for 3 seconds and it'll turn off. Disconnect the air hose. Don't worry, the air won't come rushing out. There's a valve inside, and put the cap on. Unpack and unfold the inflatable lid. Unpack and unfold the main cover. Place the main cover upside down and place the inflatable cover inside this ring. Connect up the inflator and switch on. Stop the airflow by pressing the massage button when it's inflated. Pull out the air hose, push the bung into the air hole and then push the bung inside the lid. We won't be needing that for a while, so put it off to one side. This filter that comes in the box that we found when we unpacked is actually a spare. Rather handily, the filter canister comes with a filter pre-fitted, but just to show you how to fit them, unscrew the little cap off the top, separate the two halves, and there's your filter. It's a simple slot out, slot in affair. Put that back together, return the screw cap, keep that somewhere safe as your spare unit. This is your Chem Connect. You put your chemicals in that and it distributes them slowly in the water. Back at the tub, pull off these two rubber caps. Don't leave them in the tub. You don't want to end up sitting on them. The filter housing screws on the lower one, just hand tight, no need to go mad, and the Chem Connect is a bayonet fitting on the top one. Before we connect the pump unit to the spa and before we fill up with water, now is pretty much your last opportunity to make sure that it's positioned where you want it. The use of some mats is definitely a recommendation. They're the sort of rubber mats that you'd use in a workshop. Use the straps at the side to turn it around, Bring your pump unit round to where these connections are on the side of the tub. Disconnect the air hose, keep that somewhere safe. Be sure to make sure that this gasket is in the right place. Remove this cap and keep it safe. Remove any packaging materials around these connections. The connections are simple screw-on connections, but you do need to get the threads in square in order to make sure they go on. Do be careful not to cross thread them. Do up hand tight. And while you're here, make sure that the drain is done up tight as well. And now we're ready to fill. Some top tips for filling. If you've got two hoses and you can use both, then do so, because that will increase the speed at which you can fill the tub. Depending on which model you've got, it may take up to 1200 or even slightly more litres of water. This is a Moritz and takes 1200. Now the temperature of the water that comes out of your cold tap is likely to be around 10 degrees C, because that water has been through underground pipes, and ground temperature is pretty much steady at 10 degrees C no matter where you are. So if you put 1200 kilos of water in here and then rely on tub's heater to heat it up to working temperature, which is 35 to 40 C, then it's going to take a full 24 hours, possibly 36 hours to get that water up to that temperature. That has a number of disadvantages. One, you've got to wait for ages before you can use it. And two, here in the UK at least, heating water by electricity compared to gas is very expensive. So what I've done here, the grey pipe is coming from my cold outside tap. This green pipe is coming from one of my inside hot taps. Now, before I even started setting this up, I wicked my tank temperature up to 70. It's normally just below 60. And my boiler temperature up to max, to get as much heat energy into that water as is possible. And get yourself a tap adapter to connect your hose to a hot tap. The working temperature of the tub is 40 degrees C maximum. Now I don't know how the tub would react to being filled with 60 degrees C water. Start your filling process with cold water straight from the cold tap and get at least 3 or 4 inches of water in the bottom of it before you start filling up with hot. Now the cold water will come out of your mains tap at somewhere around 10 degrees C. So to get a temperature of 40, you need to mix hot and cold roughly 50-50. Depending on what hot water system you've got, you may not be able to achieve that. If, like me, you've got a tank that holds 120, maybe 150 litres, that's only a tenth of the capacity of your tub. Keep a tab on the warmth of the hot hose pipe, which in my case is now starting to go cool, which means my tank is running out of hot water. So at that point, go and turn the hot water off and allow the tank to recover to a good temperature again. Of course, if you've got a combi or an instantaneous hot water heater, you could probably just leave it running and it'll be fine. But in that case, keep your cold water running at the same time so you're getting the right mix. Now, once your water level has risen above the top of this chemical canister, so that both of your pipes are full of water to the pump unit and the pump unit itself is getting full of water, you could switch on the unit's own internal heating system as well to further speed up heating. Press the power button, get the power on, and simply press the heating button and the pump will start. It will start to circulate water and it will start to heat. Set your temperature with the up and down. Default is 35, that's what I left it at. With the amount of hot water I've put in, I'm at 25 degrees C already. So that's about 15 degrees C of electricity saved already. Continue filling your tub until the water level is between the max and min marks. Raise the set temperature to 40 degrees using the temperature up button on the control panel. Make sure that the pump and the heater are running if you haven't already had them running. Put the cover over and tie it down and leave the tub overnight so that the tub's own heater unit can do the heavy lifting of raising the temperature up to 40 degrees. And the next morning you should have a nice warm tub, and it really does feel warm. It's lovely, like a warm bath. But the tub's not quite ready to just jump straight in just yet. You need to chemically treat the water in order to keep it healthy and clean, which I shall show you in another video. Click on this end screen to take you to that video. And if you got value from this video, please make sure to like it down by the title. See you next time.